Yeah, good morning, guys. So, so today, so we are going to discuss the other topic of inner class, guys. What is the other topic? Okay, method local inner class. Method local inner class. Right? So we completed the introduction of inner classes and we completed the normal and regular inner classes. Now we are going to discuss what? Method local inner class, right? So now, so what is method local inner class? Okay, what is the purpose of method local inner class? We are going to see now. Fine, guys. So now, let's assume, okay. So now, here method local inner class means what, guys? If you see that name, method local inner class, okay. So we are going to define a class inside a method. Understand? Method local inner class. So we are going to define a class inside a method, guys. So that is called what? Method local inner class. Okay. Let's assume I have a class, guys. Let's suppose class A I have. Okay. So now class test something. So in the class test, I have a method, guys. What is the method? Some method public void. Okay. So let's suppose there is a display method, some method name, right? So now in this method, let's suppose I have what, guys? Okay. So now 50k lines of code I have. 50k lines of code where I have, guys, within this method. Let's assume, okay, 50k lines of code I have within this method, right? Now, so in the 50 lines of code, okay, now I want to use same repeated functionality. There is a requirement, okay. So now in the 50k lines of code we have in this method, right? So in this method, so I want to use some specific repeated functionality, guys. Okay, repeated functionality I want to call, I want to use. Okay, so let's suppose I have what, guys? Some method. Okay, so let's suppose I want to calculate sum of two numbers. Okay, so for that, what I need to do, I need to call sum of two numbers, right? So like this here, sum of 10, 20. Okay, and after some time, again, there is a requirement. Now I want to sum 100 comma 200. Okay, so after some time, in this lines of code only, after some lines of code, we have 50k lines of code, right? So after okay, let's suppose every 200 lines, once I need sum of some numbers. Okay, now here what, sum of 1000, 2000. Okay, see now I need what, repeated functionality, right? So now in this method, I want to use what, repeated, some specific repeated functionality, guys. Okay, so for that, what we need to do, I need to call sum of 10, 20, right? So now I want to use this functionality in my method many times, right? I want to use the same specific repeated functionality multiple times in my method, right? So now, okay, so for that, what I need to do, what is the one option we have, right? So here we can declare that method, right? Where outside of the, I mean, within the class, in this class, within this class, I can declare what, guys, that method, right? How? So let's suppose public, okay, in some here in text, comma, int y. So like that, I can define, and here written what, x plus y. Am I right? So like that we can define, right? So now, see, if you define like this, So here you are calling, and the same method it will execute, and you will get the some result, I mean output here. And if you call sum of 100 200, okay, now you are calling the same method, but here we are passing what different argument value, then you will get the some output. And after that we are passing 1000 and 2000, you will get some output here, I mean some written value, right? So like that. So how many times you want to use the same functionality of sum here with inside this method, display method? So many times you can use, how many times you want, right? That many times you can use the same functionality. I mean, you can call the same method, right? So now, see, if you declare like this, what will happen? See, now this functionality, some functionality where you want to use only within this display method, right? So within this display method only, I want to use this functionality, because within this display method only, I need what? This sum method functionality multiple times. Okay. So this sum method functionality, I don't want outside of my display method, right? So generally where we will declare this method, let's suppose public int some method I need, right? So now if you declare as part of class means, okay, so this method will be specific to this class functionality. Okay, let's suppose in outside of our class in other packages, okay, so we have a lot of other classes in other packages, right? If they need, okay, our test class functionality on that to this some method related functionality, then usually we will define that method inside the class. So this method can be called, okay, can be invoked by some multiple other classes, right? So those with those there, I mean, some other multiple classes which are there in what different packages, right? But here this method is not generic to this class. This method is specific to whom now? For display method. Under display method only, I want to use this specific functionality of sum for many times within the display method, right? So that's what I don't want to declare this method, okay, this sum method outside of the, I mean, within the class, I mean, outside of this method, okay? So I want to define this sum functionality within the method only. Clear? So that's what, okay, the first approach will go on. Okay, I don't want to use the first approach. What is the other approach? Right? So now you can declare the same method here, guys. Where here public, if I declare, okay, if I declare same method here like some, okay, no, here what, return x plus y, okay. Now can we declare like this, guys? So what I'm doing now, I'm declaring some method inside a method. Understand? I'm declaring some method inside another method. So can we declare, okay, another method within the another method, guys? Can we declare a method within the another method, guys, in Java? It's not possible. We cannot declare, right? We will get compile time error. Come on. We cannot declare, right? Can we declare a method within another method? We cannot declare, right? So now, but how can I use this some method functionality? Okay, so this approach is not possible. We cannot declare. Okay, so now how to use then some method specific, I mean this display method specific functionality called some, okay, multiple times in our display method now. Okay, so that's what. So instead of, okay, so now here, right? So now what I can do, I can create, okay, class, let's suppose inner, okay, class inner, class name I'm taking inner. So in this class, I can define what, guys, now? This method, public int some method int x, comma int y, right? So now here return x plus y in our class close. See now what I'm doing now? Okay, here two possibilities we saw. The first possibility, okay, we discussed that. Okay, why we need to ignore that one. Now, coming to second possibility. What is the second possibility? We need to define same method. I mean, that's method within the another method. So that is also not possible in Java. Okay. Please, okay. We will ignore that one also. Now, okay. So now, what is the other option now? Okay. Now, so now within the method, so we can declare what guys? Another class. Okay, within the method we can declare another class. So that's what I declared one another, I mean inner class within the method. See here in display method I'm declaring what? Inner class. So in the inner class now I'm taking what guys? This sum method. Okay guys, so this is what method local inner class. See what is the method local inner class? Okay, if you declare inner class, okay, within the method is called what guys? Method local inner class. So now I'm declaring inner class within the display method. Now in the inner class I'm taking one, what is the method I have taken? Some method. Okay, so now now so what I can do now? How I have to use this sum method. I have to use this sum method functionality. How to do that now? I need to create what object of this inner class, right? Now inner I is equal to new inner. Okay, I'm creating object of what guys? Inner class, and after that by using this object reference I can call what guys? Sum 10 comma 20. Okay, but after okay, so here I'm using I'm here I'm using what the sum method functionality. Okay, and after some time I want to use same functionality by passing 100 comma 200. So I can use right by using this object reference I can call some method. After some time I want to use the same functionality by passing now 1000 and 2000 as a argument value. So I can call the same sum method. Am I right or wrong? Right? So now okay guys, so like this we can define okay method local inner class within the method. Okay, understand? Right. So now let me write what is method local inner class guys, right? So now sometimes right sometimes we can declare a class inside a method. Okay, such type of inner classes are called what? Method local inner class. Right? Okay, so what is the main purpose of method local inner classes, guys? Is to define method specific, repeatedly required functionality, right? The main purpose of method local inner classes. Okay, what is the main purpose of method local inner classes? Is to define, okay, to define method specific repeated functionality, right? Method specific repeatedly required functionality. Clear? Okay, what is the main purpose of method local inner classes? Is to define method specific repeatedly required functionality. Okay, so by that time we will go for what guys? Method local inner classes, right? No, method inner local classes are best suitable to handle what guys? Nested method requirement, right? Here see nested method requirement. Here I want to call what? Within the display method, I want to use some other method functionality. What is the what is the other method functionality in this case? Some method functionality, right? So the main purpose of the method local inner class are best suitable to handle what guys now nested method requirement. See here, nested method requirement. So within the method, if you take another method That is called what? Nested method. But in Java, we cannot take, okay, we cannot define a method within the another method, right? So now, to meet that requirement, okay, what is the best suitable guys? Method local inner class, right? Right. Now, hmm, method local inner classes are, okay, method local inner classes are best suitable to handle, okay, nested method requirement, right? Nested method requirement. Clear? Right. So what is the next point? Right. Now, so now, how can we access this method local inner classes, guys? Right? So we can access this method local inner classes only inside the method in which we declared. From outside of the method, we cannot access, guys. Understand? So now, where we declared, guys, this method inner class inside this method. Now, where we can access this method, okay, what do you call? Local inner classes only inside the method in which we declare. But from outside of the method, we cannot access. Okay. So we will see. Let me write that point, guys. We can access method local inner class only, okay, only inside the method in which we declared. Okay. From outside of the method, we cannot access. Clear? No. No. So this method local inner classes is very rarely used, okay, type of inner classes case. Okay. So because this their scope is very less. Okay. Hence, we did that one, that point also. Hence, the method local inner class are most rarely used type of, okay, inner classes. Right. So now, so normal and regular inner classes also we will not use, and this method local inner classes also we will not use. So I think we have discussed four types of inner classes, right? Out of four inner classes, anonymous inner classes, okay. So we are going to use, guys, in real time, okay. So now, I mean here method local inner class and method normal and regular inner classes, okay. So we are not using regularly, rarely we will use. Fine. No. So come on, guys. Now, so let me write one. I mean the above example. Okay. Where is inner class project, right? No. Yeah, let me create one more package, guys. com dot tech dot station dot method local inner class, right? So now here, let me take one class method local inner demo. I need main method too. Okay, fine. Now, so here, what I need, guys. Okay, so now this is the class method local inner demo is the class, right? So this is what outer class. Okay, now I need what, guys? I'm defining one method, public void. So which method? A display method, right? So in the display method, okay. So now I'm taking what, guys? Inner class inner. Okay. So now in the inner class, I want to define what? One method specific functionality. What is that method specific functionality? Just I want to sum two numbers, int x comma int y, right? So now here return what? X plus y, or else let me print here itself. Okay, sys out x plus y. Okay, so for that I don't need what? Return type int. Simply I can put what? Void. Fine. Now, so now this is the inner class, right? Now in the same method, where in the display method only, I want to use this functionality. Okay, so now how to do that now? I need inner class object, right? Inner I is equal to new inner, right? After that, by using this inner class object reference, I can call what? Some method. This time I'm sending what? 10 and 20, right? So now, okay. So now after that sys out, let me write something I'm putting line one or something. Okay, just I want to print. After this, again I need what? The same method functionality. Okay. Now this time I want to pass 100 and 200. Okay. So now again this out right here something is line 2. Okay. Again I need what? Same method functionality. So this time I want to pass 1000 comma 2000. Right? So here see within the same method, now I am trying to use what, guys? Some method functionality repeatedly, right? Repeatedly I'm using, right? So now, so now how to call this display method? How to call this display method? No, I need to create what? Object of this class. Okay. And new outer class object I'm creating now. So after that, by using that outer class object, I need to call what, guys, now? Display method, right? See now. So here I created outer class object. By using outer class object, I'm calling what now? Display method. So within the display method, what I have? Inner class, right? Now I'm creating what? Inner class object, right? By using inner class object reference, I'm calling what now? The sum method functionality, which I defined inside of inner class, right? So now let me execute this one. See, coming 30. Line 1, okay, 300, line 2, 3000, like that. See, can you see the output now? So multiple times, so we are using the same functionality of sum within the display method repeatedly or not, right? Yes. So now let me copy this one, guys. So now, yeah, now we will go for next one. Now, so now, so let me take one more example, guys. Okay, let me take one more example, and here we will see. So now, here let me take one more class. Okay, so now I'm taking class name as test. Okay, I need what, guys? Even public static void main also I need. Right. So now here I'm taking index is equal to 100. Something I'm taking. Fine. Now static y is equal to 200 I'm taking. Fine. Now here I'm taking what? Static int. Right. So now here I'm taking one more method. Public void. Okay. Public void. Something called same method. Display method I'm taking. Okay. So now in this method, okay, in this method, what I'm doing now, I'm creating inner class, method local inner class, right? Now, so here, what I want to take, okay, now public void show method I'm taking, right? So now, hmm, so now here I'm trying to access what, guys, now sysout, okay, I'm trying to access what now, that outer class variables. What is that outer class variables here? X and the same way y. Clear? Right? So now here inner class is completed, right? So now, so here how to call the show method? I need object of inner class, right? Inner I is equal to new inner. After that, I dot what? Show method. I'm calling show method. Clear? Right, guys? Now, how to call this display method now? For that, I need what? Object of outer class. What is the outer class name here? Test. I need to create object for this test class. New test. Right? Now, I'm using this test class object and I'm calling what, guys? Display method. Fine, guys? Now, here, so can we access x variable? Can we access y variable? X is a instance variable, y is a static variable. Can we access, guys? We can access, right? What is the problem here, right? So within the display method, I define inner class. So within the inner class, okay, I define what, guys? One show method, right? Within the show method, I want to access what? Outer class variable x and y. Okay, so now happily I can access, right? Now, see, so we can declare, okay, now I'm declaring inner class where, guys, inside instance method, right? Here, display method is what? Instance method. Okay, so if you declare instance method, I mean, if you declare inner class within the instance method, then we can access both static and non-static members of outer class directly, right? So that is the case, guys, this one. See, now I define inner class within the instance method of outer class. Now, this within the inner class, we define one method, right? So method. In the show method, can we access both instance variable and static variable of outer class? Right? So that is the scenario. So now happily we can access, right? Can you see 100 and 200, right? So no, So what is the scenario, guys, now? Okay. So now let me copy. So first we will see the other scenario also. Then finally we will copy, guys. Right. I will give you this example in your notes. Right. So now here, so we can declare inner classes inside both instance and static method of outer class. We can declare inner class both instant and static method of outer class. So what is the first scenario just now we saw? We declared inner class inside instance method of outer class. Okay. So now in that case, we can access both instance variable and static variable of outer class within the inner class method. Okay. Now this is the first scenario. Now, so we can declare same inner class even static method of outer class, right? Right. So this is the what instance method. Right. Let me copy then the first approach. Let me copy here. We'll go with next approach there. Okay. So this is the what, guys, first approach. What is the first approach here? Case. What is the case one here? Okay. Define a inner class within within instance method of a outer class. This is the first scenario, right? So now this is the example, right? So now we write here, we can define a inner class within instance method of outer class, and we can access both instance and static variables, right? Static variables of outer class, okay, within the inner class method, right? Fine. So now we will see the other scenario. What is the other scenario now, right? So instead of instance method, now I'm taking what, guys? Static method. Okay, now see. So now, I can define inner class within the instance method of outer class, even static method of outer class. But if you declare, if you define inner class within the static method of outer class, you can access only what, guys? Static variable. You cannot access what, guys? Instance variable directly. That already we know, right? So now in the static context, what we can access, guys? Only static variable we can access. Come on. So I think already we discussed, right? At the time of static variable, okay? At the time of static variable topic, I think we have discussed in detail, guys. Okay, please go and watch it. Right. So now here what, guys, now public void show method. So now here I'm trying to access what now instance variable x, and the same time I'm trying to access what now static variable of y of what outer class. What is the outer class name here? Test. But here see there is a compile time error. So now x instance variable we cannot access what, guys, from static method. See where I am defining this inner class within the static method of outer class. How can we access instance variable directly from static area? We cannot access. That already we know, right? So that's what here we are getting what? Okay, error, guys. So now only we can access what? Static variable of outer class. Clear? If we declare inside static method then we can access only static members of outer class from that method local inner class. Okay. So now let me copy this one. So now if you comment this the first one, I mean the line number 13, then you can see the output, guys. Because static variable we can access, right? Now, so now this is the another scenario. What is the case 2 now, right? Now what is the case 2 now? We can define inner class directly in static, right? Static method of outer class. Okay, there is no problem. We can define, but here, but in this case, we can access only static variable of outer class inside the inner class method. Okay, method, and we cannot access instance variable outer class inside the inner class method. Right? Understand? Why? Because how can we access instance variable directly from static context? We cannot access. That already we know. Right? So now let me copy this one. Okay? Now, so now okay, fine. So now yeah, now let me go with the other one, guys. Okay. Now so now actually let me take one more example here. Okay. So now here see class test, right? Int x is equal to 100. Fine. So now let me remove this one. Okay. So now here what I have just instance display method. Let's assume. Okay. Now in the instance display method, now I'm taking what, guys? Okay, this is the display method, right? In the display method, I'm taking one more variable, int y is equal to 200. Okay, I'm taking inner class. Now, in the show method, I want to access what now? X variable and y variable. Understand? X variable and y variable. Right. So now, shall we access now? I'm taking one in text. Okay, instance variable where I'm declaring outside of the inner class, mean outer class. And one more variable I'm taking where, guys, that one also I'm taking where another method, display method. Now int y, I mean here y variable is what? Local variable, right? Here x variable is what? Instance variable with respect to outer class test. Right, y variable will become what? Local variable of this method, display method, because where I declare this y variable inside the display method. Now x variable where I declared within the class. So now x variable will become what? Instance variable, and y variable will become what? Local variable. Now I'm trying to access what? This x variable and y variable, okay, inside the show method. Am I right or wrong? So now this x variable anyway I can access, right? Now y variable, so y variable also I can access, because why? Where this y variable I declared within the display method, where inner class I defined within the display method, right? So now what is the scope of this int y variable within this method, right? So that's what I can happily access what, guys? Now even y variable also. Understand? So now let me execute this one. 100 and 200. Clear, guys? Right? So now, actually, before 1.7, version 1.7, so we cannot access this y variable, guys. Okay, so within the inner method of inner class, okay, within the method of inner class, we cannot access this y variable. So because, I mean, within the, I mean, before 1.7 version. So after 1.7 version, so by default, okay, the local variable, by default, they will make it what? Final. Okay, so before 1.7 version, if you declare any variable within the method, I mean the local variable, so directly we cannot access that local variable within the inner class method. If you make that variable as final, then only we can access that variable within the inner method of inner class, right? But after 1.7 version, all the variables what we have declared within the method, right? So I mean, it will become what? Local variable. So by default, it will be considered as what? Final. So that's what here we can able to access what, guys? Y. We can able to access what, guys? Y. Right? So that's what we can able to see here. X is 100 and Y is 200. If you execute the same program in JDK 1.6 version or 1.5 version, okay, you will get what? Compile time error. Okay. What is the compile time error? So local variable y is accessed from within inner class, needs to be declared final. So like that, okay, you will see. But I think from after 1.7 version, okay, so all the variables what we have declared within the method, all the variables by default treated as what? Final. Okay, so final variables we can access. Right. Why, guys? Final variables means at compile time only value will be assigned to that particular variable. Okay. Here at compile time only value will be replaced with, okay, that variable, guys. Final means. I think already we discussed it, right? At the time of uh, might be flow controls. The time of flow controls. So we discussed, guys. What is the difference between final variables and normal variables? How, okay, how it will treat at compile time. The final variables, the value, final variables means what? Fixed, constant. We cannot assign, right? If you declare a variable as final means what? It's a constant, fixed. The value will be fixed. We cannot change. If you try to change the variable value, we will get compile time error. But we cannot change, right? So the value will be fixed, the constant. So that's what at compile time only, here directly the value will be replaced, guys. Here system.out.println, why we are here we are asking why, right? So instead of y at compile time directly 200 will be replaced here. Okay, fine. So anyway, that there is no problem, right? So now we can able to access what, guys? Now even local variable also we can able to access. Even instance variable of x also we can able to access within the, okay, inner method, right? So now let me execute. I think already we executed, right? Let me see 100 and 200 we can see, right? Because why we are able to access this y now? Because by default from JDK 7 version, all the local variables by default they're treated as what, guys? Final. So that's what we can able to access this y variable. But 1.7 it is not possible. Okay. So if you make final, okay, then only we can access. If you declare this y variable as final, then only we can access like this. If you declare this variable as final, then only we can access. But now, by default, if you declare or not declare all the local variables, okay, by default, it will be treated as what now? Final variable from JDK 1.7 version. So that's what here, without having any problem, we can able to execute this program and we can get the output, guys. Okay, now this is the one more case. Let me copy this one too. No, right? So now, what are the applicable modifiers for, okay? So now, what are the applicable modifiers for method local inner classes, guys? Okay, final, abstract, and strict FP. The only applicable modifiers for method local inner class. Okay, final, okay, next abstract and strict FP. These are the applicable modifiers for method local inner classes. Right. So I think already we discussed, right? What are the applicable modifier for method local variable, guys? final, right? But this is class, right? So apart from that final, we can take what? Abstract and strict FP. I think already we discussed, right? What is the abstract and what is the strict FP? Okay, no need to display, no need to explain again, right? Yeah. So now we completed method local inner class, guys. So now, this is not that much important. Okay, so we will not use this functionality, guys. Okay, the next topic, anonymous inner class. That is very, 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 very important because so we are using this method local, anonymous inner class, okay, in our day-to-day programming. Okay, so before coming, 1.8 version, method local inner classes actually we are using. But now, so we are using method local, anonymous inner class also we are using, and even streams. Okay, we have streams, right? So lambda expressions in 1.8 version. Okay, so we are using and lambda expressions. Okay, so now functional interface, all these concepts we are using. So both we are using anonymous inner classes also sometimes we are using, sometimes we are using what? Lambda expressions also, right? Fine, guys. So now tomorrow we will see anonymous inner classes. That is very, very, very important, guys. Okay. So we will discuss in detail, guys. What is anonymous inner class? How many types of anonymous inner classes we have? So we will see in detail. Fine. Okay, guys. Oh, let me stop the session now.